Okay.
I think if we went down below, we could have got a compass, but I ain't worried about it. Yep, so this is it. Okay, so the fight coming up.
By the way, that ferry would not have been easy to get a hold of because of the slippery ice, just so you know for the record anyway.
It's not going to be difficult at all. But this is the true main boss of the entire place. So, yeah. We're here, folks. Oh, it's great that you could come all the way here, Killard. Link, I'm very happy to see you again, but you'd better believe that we will not have a third meeting. Prepare to meet your doom. So, yeah. Yeah, this fight's not hard at all. It's like basically the same fight as before. There we go. Just gotta fight. Gotta aim the right one at the right one, dude. Okay, so he's gonna use this. And I'm gonna use my cane. And there's actually one more dude here. If you can do it just right, you'll be able to knock out all three of them. You know, like all three of them towards the real one. So I should be throwing lightning here. And then it's true, you can't hit him with the sword. So just in case you ever wonder. Oh, he's almost gone, so. There it is. He's done. And you'll never guess. Yep, there it is. The final dude that we had to face. Yep, and then the only one time that we actually get to see the bird in the Dark World. So, if you got to this point without the bird, I don't even know how you would even bother to get in there without the bird. You gotta have the bird. So, but anyway, that is all the time we have for this episode, and I'll catch you guys next time. Because, yeah, I mean, our next video project is in the works, but I don't know what it's going to be. So, I got to think and plan it out. So, I know I haven't been uploading videos up here like I have been in the past. You know. And I know I've been doing this whole project without sound. But I mean, it's not the sounds that's going to be the problem. It's going to be the music. It's always the music that they get you on. How dare you let people enjoy the music? We're a bunch of crybabies, so we're going to slap a thing on your video. Oh, boo. God forbid everybody be able to fully enjoy a video. You know, without the copyrights, man. That's why, you know, there used to be a time you could even do, you can listen to things, but you had to turn it down when you were going to react to stuff. And they actually let you fully do it, and then they finally said no, and then there was people that was able to bypass that. And now, reactors, I don't know if they're still on YouTube, if that's a thing anymore. But reactors are just not a thing on YouTube anymore. I haven't seen anybody do any reactions on, other than your casual, the nostalgia guy, he watches it so you don't have to, and the angry video game nerd.
Again, I'm not trying to give out any shout outs to anybody either. Also, yeah, I didn't mention this in the video. I wasn't thinking, but like reactors who react to shows besides Nostalgia Critic, like this is the first time or whatever. Like, I mean, there have been very little far and few between people who actually say, well, this is the first time I've heard this song, blah, blah, blah. But, like, in other words, reactors who react to shows and movies, stuff like that, aside from Nostalgia Critic and the AVGN, Angry Video Game Nerd, I haven't seen nobody do that. So, yeah, also, the very last video I actually thought was 55 minutes and some seconds. I really did. I don't know, maybe it split off or something, but I didn't see the rest of it. But it went through like normal, so, I mean, nothing was really split off, but except for maybe the timer, I don't know. It was weird because when it ended. Yeah, the original video itself is 30 minutes and 32 seconds, but I split it off because of the boss fight, the last one we had to do. Actually, I kind of thought we might have had to do it every time we went in there, except that you don't really have to fight all 3 bosses, but you definitely have to fight the second one and the third one after you fight the first one, because the first one will lead you to the big key. And at some point, I guess I will upload a video. I'm not worried about it right now because this series is completely wrapped up now. Because I did my final thoughts and everything. I wanted to put on this video, at least one of these parts here that... Actually, no, I didn't. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, I mean, there were some things that actually really did annoy me about this entire project. This game. That you don't really hardly notice it much. Unless you're really paying attention to it, like, oh my god, that's so annoying. But there's a lot of things that are annoying about the game, like when you couldn't go through there without getting damaged. It's like the way they program this game, and I know this is not their intention, but it's like it's like you're supposed to go in there fully unhurt at every dungeon. That's very impossible to do. Honestly, it is. So that was the only way to do it. I mean, in other words, straight through without having to go back out. Plus the fact that I actually had to use stuff to get through it all, which I was not planning on doing anyway, but because I'm just not good at timing it just right. So, I mean, like, I used to be. Like, I mean, when you're pretty good at a game doesn't mean you'll eventually won't kind of dull on the senses of trying to get where you don't have to use certain things so that you can make it through the dungeon straight through and not have to worry about things. Or even if you just go all the way up to a certain point and have to come back out again. You can go in there fully recovered and go, oh, well, yeah, you don't have to do that or whatever. Or you can just go back in there and go all the way through what you had to go through. Only you don't have to go through the same thing you had to go before. It's not like you really have to do that if you leave. You can already just like skip it. That's one of the things as well I tried to show off as well. That once you get past that, you don't have to do that. It's just like, especially if you feel like a need to go back in there for whatever reason. Especially like if you miss a room, you don't have to go through the whole process. Well, I gotta go do this or whatever. No, you don't. That room in in Crystal 7, that I showed off when I had to use the torch, is a boss itself. I mean, because it's like a kind of a challenge, and I would never recommend going to it again, even though I forgot that it had a fairy in it, but it's not really worth it. It's got a key in it too, I believe. But other than that room, I would never go back in there no matter what. It's not worth it. Even if it has a fairy in it, trust me, or I'd rather trust in the fact that it's just not worth going back in there. Unless you're good at that puzzle every time you go to it. And there's another section that I forgot about it too, being very hard or difficult to do unless you put the what do you call it, the cane of Samaria out and use a block on that thing, because yeah, it actually does, believe it or not, it has a timer for that door. You know, I think, as a matter of fact, no, I did use the cane of Samaria, and it had, if I didn't do it right, it would close. But hey, we got lucky that time. Pretty much, yeah, that was annoying as hell. I didn't like that damn room. I hated it with a passion. It wasn't the moving around mechanic and lighting the torches that bothered me. It was the timing puzzle. You had to just about time it right just to get over there. And you can't, like, dash or try to teleport to it. If you could, it would be quicker. And in some places, you can't just, like, you know, dash either. Because, you know, you'll fall right off. So you gotta be careful because of that. And so there is another room I missed in Crystal 7. I know I gotta go back up there at some point. I'll just I can do it without having to go through the entire game again. I don't need to. I'm gonna go through all that. I'll probably have to fight Muldoon if I want to go back to where there. By the way, if you go back up there, there's no nothing in that room. Just for the record. It looks exactly like the room that you had to fight Ignaham in the first time you actually fought him. The only difference is it's on Ganon's tower. And, you know, I didn't remember there not being no way to get back into the castle. I know I remember about it. Yeah, there would have been at one point, but I didn't remember like at any time whatsoever once you get to the Dark World, but or excuse me, sent there directly from the Dragonham. So anyway, yeah, overall, for those things, yeah, I didn't like it. That's all I gotta say about that. Otherwise, the rest of my positive thoughts I'm going to leave to my former self for the last video coming out, because, I mean, literally, I'm not even kidding you right now. I got to stop this video and delete this entire full video so that we have room to upload and everything. But yeah, literally, yeah. I don't know what next project's going to be. It's kind of hard to do something right now on the grounds that there's nothing to really choose from. I mean, there is a project I could do, but here's the problem with it. It has 2-player on it. I think I still have the game. But I can't do the 2-player mode, because this is mobile. Mobile does have supposedly have the functionality to do 2-player, but it's very hard to do. I mean, it's very much easy enough to do a lot of games, but there's games that I would never think that would be all that great because, you know, multiplayer, meaning, you know, like where you can have kind of a sort of a PvP, but it's without being online. One of the worst things about online, when it comes to PvP, is people can come out of nowhere and you don't even know it until you start getting into these games. And as great as the game is, that's not the problem. It's the other ones. They're all the time either too damn higher than you, taking you out, or lower characters, whatever. And plus the fact that they always got to come up with rules and stuff and whatever else. And you have to join their stupid alliance because for whatever reason, even if you wanted to make your own, you can't survive because nobody hardly wants to join yours. If you get lucky, you get lucky. But even then, it's not always a full guarantee because you got other ones that got a hell of a lot more. And, you know, I mean, unless you get really super lucky, then you might do it. So I've been lucky where I got close, but I wasn't able to do anything about it. And let me tell you, it didn't go too well. And maybe a lot of you support the idea that of freedom of speech to the point that you can even say the N-word. If you catch my drift. No, I don't buy into that. I had a second in command who supported it too. I said freedom of speech to a certain degree. I said it's okay to swear, but I didn't say it was okay to do that. I didn't much care for the sex talk either. Yeah, because there are kids that play these games, regardless of whether or not we like it or not, but they are there. It's very awkward and very inappropriate. I don't care what country they are from. I might respect all countries and like all countries, but I, like you, was not born, maybe in another century, in another lifetime I was born in that century, but that was a different me. It's like you, just like any one of you, and I guarantee you, whether you realize it or not, yeah, you had a part of you that was there, even if you don't remember it. It was before the time that you and I, from this time period, know better. To mess with a minor, because that's what we call a minor. We shouldn't even be talking to minors, which I don't understand the point of why you couldn't talk to a minor. The one thing I could understand is not being, you couldn't be inappropriate. And yet, on these PvP games, you got kids talking about this and that, and they're like 13, 12, 8. They start talking about having, inappropriate sex with an adult. I don't care if it's online or not. It's not okay. It's very awkward, and I don't like being in those things. That's why I don't like the public chat. The thing about the game that makes it great is the other stuff. What ruins it is between the public chat and people that have to constantly attack you, whether they're in your alliance or not. That's another thing, having to have a damn alliance. Instead of being under one alliance, because that's what they try to do, or do under a few of them for a server. Why can't you just play it like it is? I mean, you start out that way, you get pretty daggum strong, and why can't you just, do it optionally? Hell, RuneScape has that. Why the hell can't they do that? I mean, even though they did have PvP, and they still have some areas that do PvP. I don't know why I said that twice, or sorry. Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, that I can support. What I can't support is the full functionality of it. Yeah, okay, I can support the idea of having the ability to have a versus match or whatever, or a team battle, but I can't support the idea that PvP should ever be a thing online, because of the more overly god-awful kills that anybody can do, and they're basically cheating. I don't care if they don't spend a dime, but I guarantee you a lot of them do. Plus the fact of being able to get to be the top leader server, the server leader, is crazy. And no one can get to that in time because they have to be at least level 80. It takes you too damn long to get to level 80. Unless you get it real fast enough, then you have to constantly, or unless you're there for more than 12 freaking hours. I can't play a game like that. At the most, I could play a game about 6 hours in total if I focus completely on that game. And then doesn't include battling. Battling maybe 3 to 4 hours. If I was just doing it not without fast speed. That's about it. Like Avion. I hate that AVN doesn't have fast speed, but you know, there's a lot of things I like about it. I like the idea that you can actually know the HP, or not HP, when you can actually level up. I don't know the HP of other ones. I don't think. I think they might have been in the test or the beta ones. Back when they used to call that before it was alpha. Alpha meant it was full. Now they're saying alpha isn't when it's ready. Anyway, I don't understand that they're just that. What I do understand is when it's done, it's done. You know, when it's not, it's not. I can understand that. It's like basically playing a demo, even though it was actually a full game. Would you believe? Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, you used to be able to tell me HP and whatever, but you know, they changed that. And I did beat 2. I did not beat 1. In fact, I got very far in the game, but I don't know. There was still a whole lot I had to do in the game and whatnot, but I never did make it to the last boss in the game. Jeez, I mean, that was just on the PC. Would you believe it, all those things? I'm very tired right now, but I'm going to go ahead and end this. And I just wanted to quickly wrap it up with that and tell you that, as well, that what I didn't get to include in my final thoughts was the overall cringeness. Not cringeness, but the overall annoyances that I found throughout this game. That really didn't really impact my overall... Well, I didn't think about this either, but my overall thoughts about whether or not I enjoyed the game and how much I loved it and enjoyed it. It didn't really impact that. Like, oh, I would never play this game ever again. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Until then, later.